Good morning, everyone. We'll call the meeting of the June 20th, 2017 Redevelopment Commission to order. And first item of business is roll call. Paul Buney. Here. Brian Deppie. Here. Keith Fox. Here. Paul Kicken here. Danny Bullock. Here. Richard Wirtz is not here. Not even on the plan, I don't think. Okay. First item of business is the May 16th, 2017 minutes.
Move to approve the May 16, 2017 meeting minutes.
And motion by Fox and second by Deppie. Any discussion? Those in favor of approval say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Under old business, doesn't appear that we have any old business, so we'll move on to new business. Resolution 2017-25 authorizing the acquisition of real property. Council, I think I'll let you.
This is a resolution that we would need to conduct a public hearing with, authorizing you to purchase Mr. and Mrs. Linville's property that will, on North Graham Road, that will use to construct the Shell building. The resolution is capped at $610,000. Just for your information, the actual purchase price is $600,080. And there's related. The next item on your agenda relates to this. It's the Shell building project. If all of these are approved today, we're in a position to close on the purchase of real estate and also close on the financing agreements relative to the construction of the Shell building. Anybody have any questions about this resolution? We would need to conduct a public hearing.
You need to read by title only.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Looking for a motion to read the resolution by title only.
So moved. Second.
Now, motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor of approval of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. And so we'll now conduct a public hearing on this. You mentioned that we're doing this in 3 takedowns, aren't we?
Yes. When we close, we'll pay approximately $200,000 on it as a downstroke, and then a year from now, if we haven't sold the building, we'll pay another $200,000 down, and then 2 years from today, if we haven't sold the building, we'll pay the final $200,000.
And that's different from the first go around where we just paid it at the back end, and so we kind of spread that out a little bit on this one. So, any discussion? If none, I'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion for approval of the resolution.
I move to approve resolution 2017-25.
Thank you, Keith.
Second.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Any discussion? Those in favor of approval say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Resolution approved. And again, in the related, as Rob indicated, in the related matter, we have a number of other documents that Rob will just allow you to continue with.
These relate to the construction of the building. Chris King with Redevelopment and Greg Martz of GM Development are here. Maybe a couple words about where we are, maybe to bring everybody up to speed. The Redevelopment Commission issued a request for proposals several months ago for the construction of the Shell building, similar to the Shell building that we did a couple years ago. Greg and Chris and their team have proposed building it for about $2.4 million, let's call it. The structure, in its most basic terms, is that Greg and his team will borrow the money from Horizon Bank to build the building, and we have pledged and will use our TIF money to make those payments. this under a relatively new statute called the Build, Operate, Transfer statute, which allows us to essentially own the building as it's going up. Once the building is completed, Greg and his team will operate the building for a 6-month period and then transfer it to the city, to the Redevelopment Commission. During that time, Greg and his team will work with us on marketing the project to a final end user. And if that end user is ever identified and comes to the table, we'll be able to terminate this earlier than the 6 years that are part of the plan. And we would also then pay off Mr. and Mrs. Linville on the real estate, if we haven't already. Greg, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, good morning. The only comments I had was just to tell you maybe what to expect going forward here. So we have documents that have been reviewed by all the attorneys, and we've brought them today. Mr. Hukin would be the signer on those documents if this is approved today. And then we had submitted a schematic design with our proposal. It will take us about 2 months to get that to full construction documents if we're approved today, and also to get permitted. And so we'd be looking at about a 2-month time period for that design and permitting, and then we'd be looking for a groundbreaking in September. And if once that happens, then of course construction will be going through the winter, fall and winter, and we would have construction completion in the spring. So just so you all know what would happen upon approval today.
My understanding there's no prepayment penalty.
That's exactly right, Bob, yes. This can be paid off, so as soon as the building is sold, it can be paid off.
All right. Any questions of any of the members? Rob, did we, on this one, do we need a public hearing on this?
Yes.
On each document, or we?
No,
Let's go as a group.
correct. So resolution 2017-26.
And accompanying documents?
Yeah, and then you'll be authorized to sign all those.
Okay. So I think we're looking for a motion to read by title only, Resolution 2617, and all documents that are attached to this.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Same sign, motion approved, and so we'll conduct a public hearing on this. So we're staying pretty close to the timetable that we set up several months ago on this, so that's a good thing. So it looks like this will be the next step before we start moving dirt and so forth on that, so, okay. Public hearing, any comments? If none, I'll declare that the public hearing portion of this is done, and ask for a motion for approval of resolution 2017-26 and accompanying documents be approved.
So moved.
Second. Okay. Any discussion? Those in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Pose same sign, motion approved. Very good, it's done. David, I want to thank your bank for helping with the financing on this thing, putting that deal together, so we're kind of on our way then on this. All good. Okay. Chris, I believe this falls to you. This is the appraisal letters of engagement on Linville Way.
So we're required, in order to purchase the right-of-way needed for the construction of Linville Way for 2 appraisals. So we, with the assistance of Mark Richards, he got 4 of those for us. 2 of those, these are the lowest 2, and so that was his recommendation, that we approve and authorize those 2 appraisal letters so that those can be underway and be ready for the construction of that road.
So do we need a motion to approve the engagement of these 2 firms in? Okay, we don't need a public hearing on this, I don't think, do we?
No. I might just say though that I can't tell. We want to carve out the section of right of way that we would be purchasing
So looking for a motion for approval of the engagement letters on the appraisers, Hazentine and Baldridge.
Mhm.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Kind of an exciting new thing coming, so I think at this point, this falls to the mayor.
Good morning, gentlemen. First off, I'm pretty excited about Shell Building. Finally, I think we started this about 2 years ago, trying to break ground, so I'm pretty excited about that, so thank you. I'm here today to introduce Mr. Doug Heffley, who's the owner of Powder Metal Technicians. And Mr. Heffley, Dana, Krista, and I, we met about 4 months ago, which was the 4th day on the job, so that was a pretty exciting experience right off the bat. And the discussion was about moving his company from Marion County to Johnson County, and Franklin in particular. The company is owned and has several employees from Johnson County. Powder Metal is going to invest roughly $1.5 million in real property and bring 15 new jobs to Johnson County and Franklin. The average wage is $18 to $25 an hour, excluding the benefits. And I made an incentive offer to Powder Metal for a 7-year real property tax abatement, and that's to be heard in front of the EDC next month. And also made an offer of $40,000 to be heard in front of the RDC for moving expenses. We realize this is pending both boards of approval. Powder Metal also has a purchase agreement in place with the Linvilles and the Franklin Business Park, pending the outcome of both boards' decisions. And when you listen to Mr. Heffley's presentation, you will see the jobs they are bringing are innovative and technical jobs. And as mayor, I'm committed to bringing these type of jobs to Franklin, and I hope you will consider this request. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Doug Heffley for his presentation.
Thank you, Steve. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Doug Heffley. I'm with Powder Metal Technicians. And I think if you'll go to the bottom of that screen, that should have an arrow to start. There you go. One more time. Okay, I'm letting you know that we started this business in 2001. We started from just 2 people, from scratch. These are, we got into doing die sets. You see where we tore one apart. They come in like the middle picture. We take them apart and rebuild them and send them back out. The main thing you have to learn with these companies is your service. If you've got a service, you'll get in there and be able to come right back out. Our service trailer, if you look the one on the right, in the old days, you just put your name on the side of them and that represented you into the company. With new technology, that is the same trailer, and it's what they call a wrap. They just put them on like a sheet of curtain, and when you want to change it and upgrade it, you just pull it off like a race car and put a new one on. To get this business going, we learned the hard way that you have to be able to carry inventory. That's kind of hard to do when your accountant's telling you to grow and you're wanting to put parts on the shelf, but people do not stock parts. So our job was to put stock in inventory and have it available so when we go out on the road that they could purchase the parts from us than have to go back to OEM and have to buy them while we're waiting to put this machinery together. In 2012, I brought in an engineer, Mr. Eddie Wiley, to help us get into the controls and start changing things. This equipment that we work on is 1960 to 85. And what it is, it's good, strong equipment, but your controls are outdated, your boards are always failing. So to be able to pull in that old equipment, rebuild it, and resell it back out to them, we had to start doing our own controls. And when we brought Ed Eddie in, Eddie not only builds the panels, but if you look at a video game, he's actually the one that does the ladder logics, which tells the machine how to function, was a very important part of our business and our growth. At the same time, we see that jobs and businesses, even down here in Franklin, are growing, but they're stretching on trying to get people to be able to accommodate those machines. So a lot of technology has gone to robotics, which moves a lot of these parts. I would like to explain a little bit about what powder metal is. The best way to do it so everybody can understand it, when you're on a beach and you have a bucket of sand and you're packing that sand in that bucket, turning it upside down, pulling the bucket off, and there's your part. This is what powder metal is. It's just a powder. So they'll take this, and even though if it's a machine part with gears on it, you can actually break it right apart until it goes through a heat treat process. So what happens, once that part is formed, and the next one comes out to shove it out of the way, and the die runs over the top of it, fills the mold up, and it keeps making another part. Where robotics came into this, when this part comes out, it goes through a scale, and the press has, with the new technology, the press will weigh that part in to be in thinner light, and actually if it weighs too heavy or too light, it'll be ejected off into a scrap bucket, which is where I got these parts. Otherwise, it'll go on down through the line, and it'll go through a heat treat process that takes 4 to 6 hours to run all the way through. And there again, at that point, they used to have people standing in front of them hot furnaces to load them parts on the belt, and now they use robotics to stick them on there. And a lot of them, the bean counters got involved in it, so now they stack 2 or 3 parts on there and run it through on that belt. Well, when it comes out on the other end, they'll have to pull them apart. Again, I guess what we're trying to say is we're going into the future end of this, which is pushing the robotics to help the companies be supported with less help and more machinery. We're not trying to kill jobs, we're trying to make things more safe. We also had to get into custom fabricating because some of these presses, our job was to go in and tear them out, and if the parts were too gone, we were having to make new. These are some items that we got into fabricating for control. This is a push tester. When these robots weld this stuff together, you have to be able to push the nuts off to make sure that the welding content was good, so they do 3 times a day. We built testers where they can put them in, pump them out, knock them out, and make sure that their quality is good. We do custom fabricating. This is the way we do it. When I brought Eddie in, I was doing 2D drawing, old school again. They have 3D now. And the first thing Eddie said when we brought it in was, I was going to have to take my 2D drawing and pull it out the window because we use 3D, and it's a total different thing. It is very nice. It is nice, but it is state of the art. This is where we're going to need some of Franklin's help. We're wanting to grow. We're wanting to bring in more people at this level and teaching them. We talked to Dana, and she's helped us understand that Central 9 would be one place that we can go to. Ivy Tech would be another. We're working on what we need to tell them on what we need to bring in and to help educate the people that we need to hire. This is one of the powder metal presses. This is the way they come in when we get them. We tear the controls off. We take all the old wiring off of it. Now we use Ethernet cable, and we build total new controls. This is that same press when we get done with it. And this press here is one of the problems why we're wanting to move out. We have a 16-foot ceiling height. We're looking to put in a building that's got a 35-foot ceiling height. These machines have as much as a 5 to an 8-foot pit. We're wanting the ceiling height to put the machine on the floor where we don't have to set it in a pit to make it a lot safer to work in. We would bring these presses in, tear them apart, rebuild them, and take them back out to the customers. This is a full set of the die sets. You have, on a die set press, there's 2 die sets. You'll have one end of press running, and while it's running, they tool up the other one on a simulator, which simulates the press, but it will not push tonnage. And they tool it up and have it ready, and they swap these out, what they call short runs. They'll run 30, 40,000 parts, pull it out, put in another die set, take that tooling out of that one, clean it up, and get it ready to go back in. This is what we're getting into and what we're wanting to grow into. This is another press that the yellow piece is a robot, and they're actually taking that part off the conveyor and putting it in on the second picture, that round plate in the front. And the way that works, right above on the blue is a camera that'll actually tell that robot, no matter how that part comes down the conveyor line, that it'll rotate and pick it up exactly right and put it on there the correct way before it goes into the punch. This is some of the fabricating of the robotic cells that we're doing. We are doing a lot of robotic welding, so they have to have their own cells. The way we got into this company is tough. It's a Japanese company and they're hard to get into, but they do very good work on procedure on how they take their things through their companies. These robot cells, again, this is a 2-person cell, and I need people to understand we're not putting in robots to kill jobs. We're not building transformers. We're building robotics, which actually takes an operator to load the part, but the work itself is done by the robot and takes the hard, hot pressure off of them for weld. And then still, when that part gets done, they'll have to bring it out and inspect that part before it can be moved on, because the robots can't inspect the product. I brought some other items I'd like to show you what we're getting into. Do you have the videos, please? Some of the problems that you have in this technology isn't just fabricating and making the product, but it's material handling, moving that product in a big company in a fast way. A lot of these companies were having trouble with the operator make so many parts, but he couldn't make any more, and he had to stand there and wait until a fork truck would come and pick up that tote, take it out, and put a new one in so he could fill it. So Eddie, the designer, had come up with part transfers on rollers. So we actually have them rolling the totes in, and they'll fill it, it'll roll back out of the way and down the ramp, and then they'll have another one come in. So they were still having a lot of fork truck traffic, which is a problem, because after they get comfortable on the fork trucks, that's when you start having problems. So what we ended up doing was building a stacker, de-stacker, and they'll actually bring in totes at 3 at a time, load it 6 or 9 on the pallet entry, and the machine that PMT makes will actually unstack the 3 pallets. The operator will pull it forward and load it, bring it back in, push it over into the next column, and then it'll stack them back up, so that takes the fork truck from having to come over every 15, 20 minutes to where he doesn't have to come back for every 6 hours.
Sorry, this is not loading properly. Give me just a minute.
It may take, I tried to send them down to you and it told me that it was too
Okay.
big. What Powder Metal is actually working on is, like, Powder Metal was our background, and then the robotics became to come into that field. For personnel reasons, it was a bad situation for the operator, too hot on each end of the furnace, so they started putting robots on the end of that. The restrike, which you saw, they were loading that part by hand, and it was taking 6 to 7 parts a minute. And with our new design to come in there, they're up to 15 parts a minute with an automatic fed, nobody running. And it's got all the safety features. Our control package is a class 4 safety, and we've taken all the wirings out, gone to Ethernet cabling to take out a lot of the wiring that's hanging on the presses, the old school units, I should say. The ladder logics, again, that's what we actually have to create, the ladder logics to tell the presses and the robots exactly what their job is to do. Won't load.
It's restarting. No. Apologize.
Right now, we're looking to bring down, we have several skilled trade people. Most of our field service people, the advantage we have when we're not busy with service work, these guys are machinists. So we have machines that they'll run until we get called out on the road for field service. We're not lucky enough to have a company say, well, in 2 months, I'm gonna shut down this week and this is when I need you. Normally what they do is they call us and they say, hey, we got a problem, can you come down tomorrow and take this and help us out? And that's where we come in.
And while we're waiting on this to load, does anybody have any questions of Doug? According to what the mayor said, this is $40,000 primarily to cover moving expenses. And what we will be doing is, what Mayor and Dana are asking us to consider in the company is looking at a economic development agreement to do that. Will this be a grant or will this be a matter that will be repaid over time? Is it?
It would be repaid as bills are given to you when they move.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and pay those, but then it's a moving grant is really what this is. In other words,
We would prefer to get it cash, but I know you can't do that.
right, okay. Okay, so we'll be making disbursements as the invoices come in on that then, so. And again, this company is planning on coming in on one of those 5-acre tracts. Linville Way, is that?
No, it's not the Linville Way, it's on down, I don't know which, on Graham.
On Graham?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, directly north of Bridget and Clay, in between Bridget and Clay and Hedscope,
okay, in that area across from the church then?
Yeah.
Okay,
south of the church.
south of the church, okay.
So what we're asking for is today a commitment to move forward with the resolution. And then I guess it takes the next meeting to pass that, is that correct?
Correct.
If you're so willing to do so.
I think we're willing to wait on the video, but at the same time, I think the information that we've received may be enough to proceed. But at this point, I think again, what we do is get an overview, we have an interest in it, a favorable vote, then we will move to preparing the economic development agreement and moving it to a resolution at our July meeting. Doug, you can go ahead if there's anything else that you want to present. Again, I'm happy, anybody has any questions?
I guess I should have brought up that building. That building's gonna be 14,000 square feet, and the builder we're using is Joe Fritz from CTC, which is a commercial team. Yeah, commercial team construction, yeah. Sorry. And then again, we've laid out a layout which was on there, which our future growth is what we're looking to do on that with the 5 acres that we've got plenty of room to build onto. Our biggest issue in our business is bringing in the 25 pieces of equipment that we have and still be able to bring in more new equipment, which we're kind of waiting because we're out of space where we're at in Indianapolis, and be able to add on to the building as we go.
Sounds like if, once this is approved, we probably won't be funding this probably until 6 to 9 months until when?
Right, yeah, construction's not expected until about April of 2018.
We're not ready. We hope to be ready to move in March, but the closing date on our rental on the other end of this is late April. So you're looking after that.
I would make a motion for us to go ahead and proceed to get this EDA agreement in place, and I guess we'll be looking at that next meeting, so I make that motion to do that.
Do we have a motion? Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Any discussion? If none, we vote on this. Those in favor of approval of Keith's motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, Doug, looks like we're on our way. Again, they've got another meeting away, but we'll have it'll be a formal approval as soon as it is approved, which looks favorable at this point, next month. So that helps you in your planning process. We will welcome you and your company to our community, and certainly a lot of people in our audience will be glad to embrace you and get to know you and your firm. And so,
All right.
Appreciate you considering Franklin.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Don. Okay. Is it me or is it just hot in here? Okay. At this point, item 5E, Economic Development Agreement for the ASIN project? Project, okay. I don't believe that we have, is it no, it's typically the one, this is one in which we considered this the last couple of months. Krista, what are we here to do today?
Just to approve the economic development.
Is it attached at all? I don't think it is.
It is.
It is.
I'm getting there slowly.
Okay. Well, you members have seen this and heard this. Would I be asking too much to just get like just an overview of what this is, Rob?
ISIN wants to improve its building by installing new commercial grade tractor trailer doors. And we're gonna help fund them up to 15% match of their expenses up to 50. Is that right? I don't know.
Yeah, 50,000.
Okay.
And this would be a grant that you would, that would flow through the FDC. And then the FDC would do the underlying agreement with ISIN.
Is that the resolution for that company already occurred or? Is that
Yes.
done? Okay, so we've already done it, so this is just formal approval of the EDA then?
That's right.
Okay. So what we're looking for then today is a motion for approval of the economic development agreement on this project.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Well, I have to confess, I'm looking on farther down this where there's no attachment. There is an attachment on this. It helps to know where you're at on this. So anyway, that's done. So we'll move on then. Okay. Update on 55 West Madison Street project. I know we have Lisa Talley here. I don't know that she's going to speak or going to ask to speak. We might do that, but I think, Krista, is that your update here at this point?
Sure. So the economic development agreement that Rob prepared had a review committee of the plan packet that was submitted by Mrs. Talley, and that was reviewed by that committee, and that committee has approved that. Their proposal is in line with the requirements of the economic development agreement, and so at this point, we're ready to move on to the next steps with that project.
So today we're looking for an approval of the plan packet as submitted then.
I think it's really an update.
It's more of an update,
The
okay.
review committee approved it. So next steps, and Mrs. Talley, chime in if you like. I think the next steps are that we're going to fund the redevelopment commission is going to fund a $300,000 escrow with the FDC. The Tallies will also fund $300,000 into that escrow. We will use those monies to rehab the building. We will also be selling them the building for $1. And unless anybody has any questions, I think that the staff is already authorized to keep that moving, so we will keep that moving.
Well, I'll chime in and say, if she's not going to say it, it's an exciting project, and the plans look great, and it'll be a great addition.
Thank you. We are excited.
Krista, who was on that committee as well?
It was Jeff Mercer, yourself, the mayor, Mr. Shaswell, and myself.
Okay, and we met yesterday to go over that, and so it is a exciting project, so. Okay, I think, unless there's any questions, we'll move on. So, very good, okay. In a similar way, we have an update on the I-65 Interchange Hotel Development Project. I think Rob and/or Krista can update us on this. We have Rob and Amy Richardson with us right now. Maybe at this point, Rob, maybe you and Amy could give us an update on where we are with this. And come on up. I think it's all good items.
We have acquired the land. We closed on that about a month ago. And so we are now the proud owners of the 12.3 acres of ground out by McDonald's. And we, we've changed gears. We were looking to do a Hilton project, and we are now looking to do a Marriott project. We have approval from Marriott. Excuse me. And that formal approval will happen on July 15th. We are going before the BZA on July 5th. And the reason we're going to the BZA is because the new prototype for the Marriott Residence Inn is a 4-story building, not a 3-story building. And the height requirement right now is 45 feet is the restriction for the ordinance on the gateway overlay. And the parapet wall, if you look there, just above the entryway, that parapet wall right there is 54 feet. So we need to get a variance for the 9 feet, and we are on the docket for the BZA on July 5th. So we'll have that. Once we get that approved, we're looking right now to break ground in September, which would have us completed by midsummer next year, maybe earlier, depending on weather and conditions and so forth. So our goal was to be open and have that up and running by the middle of next year. As well, we also have, we're working on an agreement with another group to buy the front 3 to 4 acres of ground and put it into a national chain, one restaurant and another type of restaurant up front bordering King Street. So the project is moving forward quite nicely at this point. The only thing we're waiting for is approval from the BZA to get around the 45 feet to get to 54 feet.
Any questions?
So I think, Krista, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that the committee also approved this plan packet, subject to BZA approval coming in. If that all goes through, then what will happen then is we will fund a $560,000 escrow and we'll proceed with construction. So I don't think there's any action required.
Any questions of the Richardsons today?
Again, I'll chime in again, and this is an exciting project, and it's something that we've been working towards, and the things that are gonna happen out there now are gonna happen at a fast pace, and we're excited about that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, folks. Thank you. All right, Rob's going to speak to the next item on the economic development agreement with Shell Creek. We have Mike and Jenny Baker with us today.
Yeah, if you recall, the presentation last month was for some assistance with some build out and rehab of the facility. And I had dropped the ball and don't have it ready for today, so I apologize. I can have it ready by next meeting or a special meeting if you'd like to do that.
How soon do you think you need this? Certainly sooner the better, I suppose.
We would like to get started, but we understand.
at a special meeting.
The only timing concern would be that if you have a special meeting, it needs to be probably at least 14 days from now, because we've got to approve the money as well.
They put it on July 4th then on that day, but I mean, well,
It would be at least 20.
yeah, at least July 4th, so. Our regular meeting would be July 18th. So we could go the 11th, or it'd just be one more week then to do this. I'll let that be your folks' call. We can try to meet on the 11th. It'd be a short meeting. If you want to think about it, we'll circle back to it on that. Okay. We'll circle back here just a little bit on that. Okay. We'll move on then at this point. The next item is amended economic development agreement with B2S Labs. And that's you, Rob?
Yeah, I'll say a couple words and Krista can supplement. There is some discussion, there are discussions going on with B2S Labs, and I was asked to take a stab at an amendment to the existing agreements. What you have is a draft. You should probably really not even read it. It's not ready for prime time. But just so you know, those discussions with B2S Labs are occurring, and we think that maybe next month we might be in a position to have Alex come to the meeting and maybe talk about some changes we can make to the agreement that would benefit everybody. So I think today we're at no action requested. Expect to see it come back in July.
Okay. Any questions of Rob on this? Okay. Given none, we'll move on to, tell you what, before we get in, we'll do a Frechette update, and I'll talk about the Shell Creek here in just a moment. Frechette update?
I just wanted to report, I did speak with Neil Dixon, the architect, and those drawings, he said were about 90% complete. And hopefully this week or beginning of next week, he would have those into the hands of a couple of different contractors so that we could get some preliminary construction estimates for that project. So my goal is to have that for you at your next month's meeting, at least an estimated number for what that would cost for the revised plan, so that you can make a decision whether or not to go with the 1.5-story design or the 2-story design.
Okay.
It's moving along.
Moving along, okay. On the Shell Creek, is it, do we have to meet on a Tuesday?
No.
Okay, so what I'm wondering is, if we were to say I hate to call it on a Wednesday right after a holiday, because I tend to forget about meetings. But I was wondering if we would be available that Thursday, July 6th, just for a quick meeting. Okay. I think let's just say tentatively, if that's okay with the Bakers, Thursday, July 6th at 8 a.m. We'll call a special meeting of the Redevelopment Commission at 8 o'clock. And it's like all these other special meetings we've had lately, they'll go on for 2 or 3 hours, but hopefully we'll just have the one item and we won't pile on and we'll just get in and out of here. I'm not aware of anything else that we might have coming in, so July 6th at 8 a.m. That gives us enough time to advertise and so forth. Okay. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I think that takes care of the new business, which some of that's old business, but falls under new business as well. So now into other business, which consists of financial reports and such. I will rely on Krista to kind of lead us through that.
So this is your May financial report. This shows the resolutions that were approved at your last meeting. I've updated all of those amounts that were spent through May. And then we don't have the May property tax disbursement yet, so that's still an estimated. That should show up on your June property tax, or on your June financial report. So you can see receipts, what was received, expenditures, and then your estimated cash balance at the end of the year, if all of those appropriations were made, is the 5.8 million. Are there any questions on the May financials? Okay. As far as the TIP bond, we have the TIP bond financial report. These are the projects that are funded through the TIP bond. These have also been updated through the end of May, and so you can see where we've total spent to date is 10.9 million. We have balance remaining at 435,000. That is not committed to projects.
Okay. And we have to spend all of this by June of next year.
That's correct.
Okay. Any questions of Krista on this report? All right, we'll move on into determination of no excess assessed value.
Yes. So each year, if we have funds that are not necessary for projects, we have the opportunity to turn those back to the other taxing units because of our bond and because of the list of projects that we have. In years past, we have determined that we have no excess TIF, and that we basically just notify those taxing entities that there will not be any kind of return on those allocation areas. And so I just need your approval on that to sign that and to make that notification before July 15th.
Okay, looking for a motion on that.
So moved. Second.
Any questions? Okay, those in favor of approval of the document relating to determination of no excess assessed value, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion approved. Okay, moving on to cash flow analysis.
There weren't a lot of changes to the cash flow analysis. I updated projects that were approved and moved them from approved projects or from projects under consideration to approved projects. There are copies of this in the audience. I know it's hard to read. Are there any questions on this?
We're keeping up with it though, right? Keeping this thing current. That's a chore, I know.
It is.
But it gives us a good amount of information.
Gives you an idea of cash flow.
What we've got in the hopper.
Yeah.
Okay, no questions from anybody on that? There's no questions about that before. Into the part about public comment and announcements, do we have any? Dana, you got anything to update us on? I know you're busy.
Lots of good things going
A
on.
lot of things you can't talk about, right? Can't talk about.
Bringing things to you.
Rob, you got anything you can talk about?
No, I can't talk about anything.
All right. Janice, anything?
I'll talk about anything.
You got a picnic coming up in July, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have our appreciation picnic, our membership appreciation picnic, July 14th at Province Park. Then I'm going to put on my convention visitor tourism hat right now and let you all know that the CVT Commission meets every Wednesday, the first Wednesday of each month. It is in the Commissioners' Council area and auditorium. And those meetings are open to the public. I would certainly encourage any and all to attend those meetings to just kind of be updated about what's going on with the CVT, especially now that Franklin has so much going on at the I-65 exchange and all that we're anticipating is going to come to this area. I would just encourage any and all to attend those CVT meetings to make sure we're all in the loop as to what's happening.
Okay, thank you.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
6 p.m., open to the public. Come and find out more information.
Okay. I don't see Carissa in here, but it's certainly a shout out is deserved for the BDF folks and all the volunteers that had looks like a very successful extremely successful weekend with Smoke on the Square. Of course, they have to hurry up now and get ready for the next one. And so I'm looking forward to, it's not Bear Bluegrass anymore, what's it?
The Great Race is happening
Great
next
Race is
Tuesday.
happening. Somebody want to talk about the Great Race?
Done.
Okay, well, it's coming up, it's kind of,
It's happening.
it's this month, right? Be aware of it, right? Great Race.
Exactly.
Okay.
Bob, there's gonna be over 100 antique cars, older cars. I think the oldest one is, that can be in the race is 1976. So, this is truly a unique experience for the city of Franklin. The number of people that are gonna be coming in, it's gonna be fantastic. An opportunity to be something you wouldn't normally get to see. And it was really neat that they chose Franklin and wanted to be here. Once they came in and actually saw the community, saw the downtown, they wanted to be a part. They wanted to see, so that's pretty special.
They also have a camera crew that's following them around for a TV show that will be played, so Franklin will get a chance to be in that. And also, I might come out of retirement after I see this. So.
And there's only three cities in Indiana that they stop at: French Lick, Franklin, and Angola.
And just to tag on to that, the aircraft will be showing the movie Bullet with Steve McQueen for free that same night. So we're hoping that Ray Skillman can bring down a car very similar to that.
Okay, exciting. Man, if I'd only known about all this, I might have taken better care of that 66 Ford Galaxy 500 than I have. It's long gone.
We also have a site visit for the Redevelopment Association of Indiana on June 29th in Fishers from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. If any of you RDC members are able to attend that, just let me know. I can RSVP and we can make those arrangements. Just a reminder.
What's the date on that?
June 29th.
29, okay. Jeff, anything on the FTC front?
Nothing.
A lot of stuff behind the scenes. Certainly, last but not least, the GOT representative, I know Les is here today. Nothing there? Okay.
Well, we're pretty busy with all the events downtown. You know, we have our junior division, protection service division, headed by Owen and Finley Abel, who've been doing crowd control, along with our canine unit. So we've been pretty busy.
Well, we know this is your busy time, because when the weather gets warm, the GOT comes out on the sidewalk. In the meetings. Okay. We have a busy day today. Certainly, there's a closing, the Lingo closing today. If I needed to be there, somebody let me know. I don't know that I am, but probably you'll let me know. Okay. Okay. Anybody else have anything? Okay, just a reminder, we'll have a special meeting then on July the 6th, and we'll see you then. Thank you.